Thank you, friends, for your support. By your support, we reached about 301 subscribers. If you see this lesson is useful, please recommend it for your friends and then give thumb up to the clip. Today our lesson will be about Unit 1, Lesson 3. In this lesson, we can learn past simple. Sometimes we say simple past, perfect tense, which is perfect, present perfect, or present perfect continue, and past perfect. I want to mention here, we say be sometimes in a sentences. It's exchangeable because it means am, is, or was, or were. Sometimes we put be, or sometimes we switch it with those, we call them be verb, or verb to be, sometimes we mention. Let's look at this sign. We see here we have a present. Anything happened before now, in any time, maybe even like say for 5 seconds before now, or maybe 5 minutes, or 5 days, or 5 years, or 5 centuries, we call them past. And then anything will happen after now, we call them future. Now today we're going to have simple past. Simple past is used to describe an action which was started and completed. Yeah, this is so important to know. Started and completed in a specific time in the past. We have some signals that we know indicate us that the action happened in the past. For example, we have yesterday, ago, last, in 2016, could be any year. For example, I just mentioned it here, like 2016, could be 2018, 17, or maybe the other day. It means any day before now. Today, for example, is Monday. It means Sunday, Saturday, any day can mention it. For example, let's say if you have now time, it's 3 o'clock, and then let's say when we have the 2:55, it means in the past. Before the time of speaking, it means any, even 1 second before now, we consider it happened in the past. 1 second before now, any date before now. Okay, let's look here. We say was, were, equal be. It means we could exchange it, those two with be, or vice versa. Sometimes we say here be equal was, were. Okay, how we make a sentences in the past? We have two options. One option, we use auxiliary be, sometimes we call them be verb or verb to be, which is was and were, or you could have regular or irregular verb, we could use it with in the past. Okay, let's look here. With the subject, if the subject or the pronoun is I, he, she, it, we use was. Then you could say I was a police officer. Then if the pronoun or the subject is they, we, you, plural, mean any name more than one, we use were. Then we say we were police officers. Then the second thing we said it, we use the verb in the past. Here we say I, he, she, it, or they, we, you, or plural. The verb is gonna be same. For example, if it's regular verb, then we just add ed to it. If the verb irregular, then we have to memorize it, then put there. Then if we have a sentence, you could say I worked in a company. Sometimes we say they worked in a company, or she worked in a company. It means the verb doesn't change for if we change the pronoun. Okay, let's go how we structuring past simple. Let's say first we use be verb or verb to be, which is was and were, as a main verb in the sentences. For example, Sam was a student in the college. When I see the sentences, when I see here I have was, it may definitely happen in the past. Or sometimes we could add it here. We could say Sam was a student in the college last year. Then we know it's happened in the past. Sam is the subject, Was is the main verb here. This happened in the past. Then a student will be the object for the subject Sam. And the college, in is the preposition. Then the college is the object of the preposition or noun of the preposition in. Then last here is the time frame tell us happened in the past. Let's go to the second sentences. They were at the party last night. They is the subject. Then because the subject is a plural, then we use were. At the party, this is at is a preposition. And then here we have the party is the object of the preposition at. Last night is the time frame tell us happened in the past. Okay. The second thing we said that we could use the verb, action verb. For example, here we have using an action verb in the past form. Sometimes we say worked, then we have saw, we have broke, studied, played. If we look here, this is we call them regular verb. It means we change or we add ed to the end of the verb. In that case, the verb is happened in the past. Or maybe it's irregular, then we have to memorize it. For example, see, then we have here saw. Break, we have broke. Okay, as a main verb in the sentence. And let's look to this first. We have a regular verb. Let's say, for example, if we have work, then we add ed to it. Okay, let's look to the sentences. Azad worked in for the dog company for 5 years. Okay, if we look to the sentences, here we have a subject Azad, then we have worked as the verb because we have ed here. In for the dog company for 5 years. Sometimes maybe we don't know if this has happened in the past. Sometimes you could say, maybe for example, for 5 years, maybe let's say since we give any year, for example, let's say in 2010. Now we know if we started, for example, if he started working in 2010, in that case he finished like for 5 years. It means like in 2015, then he is no longer working for the company. Let's go to this second sentences. Shan played the movie 2 days ago. If we look to this sentences, we know here we have a subject, then we have a verb, the verb is ed, and then we know this has happened in the past. But to make sure, then we could look here, we have the movie, which is the object, then we have 2 days ago. When I see ago here, then I know definitely happened in the past. Then let's look to the sentences here. We have we said that we could use regular verb, then we add ed to it, or irregular verb. An irregular verb, then as I said that you have to memorize it. For example, break will be broke. Okay, let's look to the sentences here. Sam broke the cup last night. Okay, let's look here. From last night, I know definitely this has happened in the past. Then we look here to the sentences. For example, Sam is the subject, broke is the verb, then the cup is the object. Then we said that last night will be the time frame or adverb of time. Then let's look to the other sentences. For example, let's say here, I don't have this. For example, let's say here we say, they cut the tree. Okay? If we look to the sentences, we have they, then we have the verb cut. Then we have the object, the tree. Here we don't know, because if we look to the cut in the present is the same, in the past is the same. Then here we don't know, is it the sentences happened in the past or is and happen in the present. But when we add the time frame or the adverb of time, then we know definitely happened in the past. Okay, the other reason those signals are very important, especially if we have a irregular verb. Okay, let's look. Sometimes maybe we have the verb, but we don't know is it ed or is it irregular. This is only going to be the last option for us if we don't know the spelling of the irregular verb, or for example the irregular verb, or sometimes we don't know how we can change y to ied or not. This is the trick. We could use it using auxiliary did. We could add did to the sentences, then we know have definitely happened in the past with the root of the verb. Then we say, for example, work, break, as in did work, did break. For example, let's look to the sentences. Let's say, for example, I don't have this. Then I could say Sardar rewind the tape yesterday. Then I get confused as it to add ed to it or just its irregular verb. Then it's easy just to put did in the front of this verb. And then let's look at the second sentences. I did see the professor leaving the camps 5 minutes ago. I know it's happened in the past, but sometime here maybe I don't know the spelling of see when I change it to the past, so, or maybe I could add ed to it, then I get confused. Easy just to add did to it. As I said it, adding did in the front of the root of the verb is gonna be the last option, because maybe there are some teachers or some examiner, they don't accept to see did in the front, but in reality it's definitely happened in the past. Okay, let's go to the second one. The problem with this, sometimes we have ed at the end of the verb, or we add ed to it. We got confused. Is it we pronounce it t or d or ed? I just made it easy for you. If we look to the, when we add ed to it, if the last letter after, we could say comes, ed comes after voiceless sound of k, p, s, h, sh, f is pronounced t. For example, liked. Then you say liked. Okay, liked here is gonna ed would be pronounced t. If we look here, liked, then because the last letter of this is k, then we have here k. Let's go to the second one. Troubled. If we look to ed here, ed is pronounced d, because ed comes after voiced final sound of l, v, n, b, and all vowel sound is pronounced d. Okay, here we have d. Let's go to the last one. Added. This ed is pronounced ed. For example, ed comes after the final sound of t and d. The d is pronounced ed. Okay, let's go to continue. Let's go, for example, here when we have present perfect. Now we say this is the present. Anything happened before now, we call them past. Then anything will happen after now, we call them future. Present perfect is an action happen before now. In any places here, we don't care about the time, only we care if the action is completed. Then we say it's happened in the perfect time. Let's go definition of the perfect time. Present perfect describes an action or an event occurred and completed at an unspecified time before now and having a connection to the present. where the time of the action is not important. It means the important if the action took place or not. It means the time of the action is not important for us, but it's important if the action is completed. Okay. Let's look how to structure this kind of present perfect. We have two kinds. We could use have or has plus past participle. Let's look to here. When we have the subject or pronoun, could be I, they, we, you, plural subject, then we use have, then plus past participle, then the rest of the sentences. When we have the subject or the pronoun is he, she, it, we use has, then past participle, then the rest of the sentences. Okay. When do we see those, we could say the present perfect signal words? When we see just, for, since, already, before, ever, never, so far, yet, not yet, lately, recently, up to now, still. We know our sentences will be in the perfect time. Okay? Or sometimes when we make a sentence, make sure we add those phrases to the, then we know it's happened in the perfect time. How we construct present perfect? Using auxiliary have, as we said it, and past participle. With I, they, we, you, and plural subjects. For example, let's look here. I have submitted 2 thesis statements so far. Okay, I see so far here, then I know this has happened in the perfect time. Okay, then I know this has happened in the perfect time. Then let's look to analyze the sentences. Here I have a subject I, then I have to use have. Okay, then I have to use past participle of submit, then I make a submitted. Then 2 thesis statement will be the object of the subject. Here I have I. Okay, let's go to the second sentences. The police have raided 3 times the west side of the city. Okay, you could say since yesterday or maybe 2 weeks ago. If I say here, if I put 2 weeks ago, it means I don't know exactly when, but I know definitely in that 2 weeks that the raidings happened. For example, let's analyze the sentences. The police, if we see here, the police, it means it's a group of police. It means not only one person, because I don't have here s. Because we know there are some nouns, if we look at it, look like they are singular, but in reality they are not, because they are plural also. Because the police, it means a group of police. Have raided, because I know here I have a plural subject, then I have to use have. Then raided, it means here I put the past participle for it. Okay, let's go to the second one. Use auxiliary has and past participle with he, she, it when they are subjects. Okay, let's look to the sentences. Sam has sent 4 emails since Monday. Okay, here I have a subject Sam, then I have has, then I have to add past participle of send. I make a sent. 4 emails is the object, then I have here the sign, it tell me since. Okay, when I see since, it means this is in the perfect time. Okay, maybe sometime they gave me blank, they say here has sent, then because when I see since, then I know I have to make it in the perfect time. The snow has fallen 4 times this month. Okay, Let's say here, when I have the subject, singular, then I have to use has. They have the snow, then has, then past participle fallen, then 4 times this month, because I have 4 times this month. Here I don't know exactly when, because only I know 4 times. Maybe in the beginning of the month, maybe in the middle, maybe the last day of the month. It means I don't know exactly when the snow fallen. Okay, that's the reason we make it the perfect time. Let's go to the second subject we wanna touch it today. We have here a present, then we have a future, then we have the past. For the present perfect, we know it's happened before now. Like we said, like 1 second, 5 minutes, any time before now. For us, the time is not important. But the important is if the action is completed. That's the reason we call them the present perfect. But for the present perfect continue, here the important for us how we know it's happened present perfect. Okay, for the present perfect continue, any action happen before now, but this action completed for a period of time. Okay, for example, when this action is continued for a period of time, then we know this action is happened in the perfect time for continuation. For example, maybe continue it in here before now, maybe for 5 minutes, maybe for 10 minutes, maybe for 2 days. It means in those 2 days before now, the action was continuing. Maybe let's say here, started from this time and then until this time, will continue only in this period of time. Or maybe the action was a little longer. It means only this action will start it in this time. It means continue it in this period of time. Maybe the action is only short, like this. It means in this period of time was continuing. But this action could be any places here. Okay? Any places, we don't care about it, but we care about the period of the continuation. Could be long period, continue it, could be short period. Okay, let's look how we structure the present perfect. Continue. Present perfect, sometimes we say continue, sometimes we say progressive, as the same meaning. Describes a long action started in the past and was in progress for some time and recently stopped. It means recently is finished, completed, or still going on until now. It means maybe it started, then continue it until now. Then how are we gonna make present perfect continue? As we know, when we make present perfect, we use have or has plus past participle. And also we know when we have present continue, we use is, or with ing form. It means the verb has to be with the ing form. For example, let's look to this sentence. When I have the subject, I, they, we, you, or plural subject, then we have to use have. Okay? Then I have to make it in the perfect time. Then I have to use been. It means this is the past participle. But when I need it to be continued, then I have to see a verb with ing form. Okay, that's the reason we make a studying ing. Then we have the continuation or the rest of the sentences. Math since yesterday. It means since yesterday until now, they have been studying. I mean, you see here, from yesterday until now, they have been studying, continue studying. If we have the subject or the Subject could be he or she or it. Then I have to use has. Then to make it in the perfect time, then I have to use been. Then to make it perfect time, continue, then I have to use verb with ing form. Same thing here. Okay, let's see how we structure present perfect continue or present perfect progressive. Okay, let's see here. We have present perfect simple. Okay, we have Azad has taped his novel since Friday. Okay, now we know this has happened in present perfect simple or present perfect. Azad is the subject, has, because the subject is singular, then I have to use has because he. Then I have to use past participle. Okay, let's go to present continue or present progressive. With present progressive, then I have Azad is the subject, is the be verb or verb to be. Then because if you remember we said that whenever I have amo is or, then the verb that comes after it will be ing form in this subject. When we go to different subject, there will be different story. Okay, his novel. Then I have to make this sentences in the present perfect continue. Okay, let's look at it how we gonna make it, shall we? Okay, let's see here. I have to make those two sentences as one sentences in order to have present perfect continue, because this is present perfect, Azad has typed, and then this is present continue, Azad is typing. I have to make those two as in one sentence. Okay, let's look to it. Present perfect progressive. Azad is the subject. I just put it here, Azad. Okay, here I have Azad. And then has is the auxiliary verb. Then I just put it here. Okay. Then if we look here, because we have is. If you remember, we said is the be verb. Yeah. It means exactly this. Should be same thing as looking here. This is will come here working as be. Okay, that's the reason we say it. And then here, if we look here, we have what's left. We have type it, we have typing. Then typing, I'm just gonna grab typing, put it here. But if you remember, we have here is only be, because is be. But when I make a sentences in the present perfect, then I have has, then I have to look for past participle of be. The other reason I make it be to be been. Okay, let's do it again. Okay, let's take this one out. Let's say, for example, I don't have this. What I'm gonna do, I have to take has, copy it, just write it down here. That's has. Then I take is, copy it, put here. Oh, sorry. But we know is we could switch it with be. That's the reason I put be here instead of is. Now I have be here. But we know if I have present perfect, I have to make this one been. Okay? Then to make it continue, I have here typing. I'm just gonna copy it exactly, put here. That's how it works, how to change or how to make present perfect continue. Let's do it here again. Okay, let's see here. If I have a subject, I, they, we, you, or 1+1, or sometimes we say plural subject, then we have to use have. plus past participle. Okay, then here past participle, then I have to have a verb ending with ing form. Okay, then because I have to make it ing form, sometimes we call them plus gerund. Or ing form. Okay, let's do it. This is my present perfect simple. The two governments have regulated 2 new laws since March. Okay, now I know definitely this has happened in the perfect time. It's present perfect. Why present perfect? Because I have then plus past participle. Okay, let's look to the second sentences. Present progressive or present continuous, sometimes we say. The two governments are regulating 2 new laws today. Okay, then here I have a government, or the two governments is the subject, then I have to put are. Then regulating, because I have amo is or, we said that the verb after has to be with ing form for this subject here. Then I have to make regulating. Now I have 2 sentences. One of them is present continue or present progressive. The second one is present perfect. Then I have to make those 2 sentences as one sentences. Okay, let's do it together. Okay, let's see here. I don't have this. Okay, let's look to it. The two governments, I just copy it. Let's take all of them out. I just copy it, put it here. Okay. Okay, let's see here. We have, then we copy it. We just write it down here. Then I know this has happened in the perfect time. Let's go here. With have making in the perfect time, I need to see here, because this or will be copied here, and then we're gonna change it to be. If you remember, we said amo is or was where is equal be. Yeah, if you remember, then be here. Then because I have to change it, I cannot put order, then I'm gonna switch with be. I just put be here. Then I have to make this one in the perfect time. The other reason I have to make it been. Okay, then to make it in the perfect time continue, then I just have to have a verb with ing form. Then I put regulating here. Then we have the rest of the sentences. Now I have the sentences in present perfect continue. How we know it's present perfect continue? This is the subject. This is have been. This is tell me this is perfect time, yeah? And then I have ing form here. This ing form, it tell me this is my sentences. It's in the present perfect continue or present perfect progressive. Okay, let's look how we know our sentences to be in the present perfect continue. Sometimes we say all day. Let's look here. Sarah has been working on the new project all day. Okay, has plus been, then working. This is ing, because here, if you remember, we said that amo is or is equal be. Then I have to make in the perfect, that I make it been. Then we have on the new project all day. Okay, let's go to the second one, the whole day. Then we have here the sentences. We have been practicing the whole day. Okay, let's look, analyze it. We is the subject, have, then we have been to indicate that this has happened in the perfect time. Then to make it happen, present perfect continuous, present perfect progressive, then have to look for a verb with ing form. Now that is to say practicing. Then I have a sign here which is say the whole day. Let's look to the other two. Since. Sam's parents have been waiting for him to arrive since yesterday. Okay? Sam's parents, this is two because the father and the mother have, because I have the subject here plural. When a subject plural, then I have to use have. Then I have to make it the perfect. Then I added been. Then to make it present perfect continue, waiting. Okay? Then for him to arrive since yesterday. Then let's look for how to use for. My family has been touring the old neighborhood for 5 hours. Okay, my family, I know family is more than one, but we talk about the family as one group, as one team. Then we say, for example, my family has. But when I make it my family members, if I add members, here I have to make it have. Okay, let's have to make it have here. Let's go back again because let's go mix it. If it's only my family, then I have to make it has. If my family I add members, then I have to make it have been. Okay, have been, this is perfect, touring, then I know it's happened in the present perfect continue. Okay, let's look how we make differences between present perfect or past simple. This is a very serious subject. A lot of people, they make mistakes. Let's try to see how what's the difference between past simple and then present perfect. We know if we have a specific time, we know it's happened before now, even 1 second, then we know it's happened in the past. But if we don't know, maybe we know it's happened before now, but we don't know exactly the time, then we have to make it present perfect. Let's look to the sentences. Sam saw that movie a week ago. Do we have a perfect, do we have a specific time? Yes, a week ago. We know definitely a week ago Sam saw that movie. Okay? Then we say Sam is the subject, so is the verb. It's in the past. That movie a week ago, because I have ago here, then I have to make it in the past. Let's look at the sentences. Sam has already seen that movie. Okay, we know Sam saw that movie, but we don't know when. Me here, the other is say Sam has already seen that movie. Was it yesterday? Was it 1 month ago? Was it 1 year ago? For me, I don't care, because here only I want to make sure if Sam has seen that movie or not. That's the simple one. The other is we can make it present perfect. For example, if you say Sam is a subject, has, then we have already. If this is the sign, it means tell me that's happened in the perfect time. Okay, then here we have the past participle, then we have the rest of the sentences. Let's look to the second sentences. Sarah and Zana met each other last year. Do I have specific time? Yes, because I'm talking about last year. The other is I have to make it in the past, then I put met. Then we have Sarah and Zana is the subject, then met is the verb, then each other will be object for the subject here. Okay, let's look to this. Sarah and Zana, okay, have met each other for over a year. Okay, here when we say over a year, was it last year? Was it before last year? Was it 5 years ago? Was it 10 years ago? I don't know, but only I know over a year. It means only 1 year. Okay, that's the reason we make it in the present perfect time. Okay, let's look at the sentences. Sarah and Zana is a plural subject. Then we have, then met, then each other for over a year, because here I have for. It's also indication this has to be in the present perfect. Okay, let's go to the other sentences. They traveled to South America in 2002. Do I have a specific time? Yes, you see here, that's the time I have it. Then I have to make it in the past. There is a they traveled. It means you have to add ed to it. If you, the difference here, sometimes in American English we put one L. In British English we have to put 2L. Okay, it depends where you taking your exam. If you are in US and Canada, you could put 1L. If you are in UK or any in European country, Australia, New Zealand, then you have to make it double. Okay, let's go to the second sentences. They have traveled to South America several times. Okay, here I have several times. I don't know, was it last week several times, last month, or 10 years ago? I don't know exactly the time. Then I have to make it in the present perfect. The other is I put they have traveled. It means here I have, that means past participle of travel, then traveled. Then because I have several times. Let's do the other one. I changed the lock 2 times yesterday. Do I have specific time? Yes, I have yesterday here. Then I have to make it in the past. I is the subject, change is the verb, the lock, it means the object, 2 times, it means the adverb of frequency, it means 2 times. Let's look to these sentences. I have changed the lock many times since March. Here I changed it, yes, since March, but how many times? I don't know. Was it once? Maybe in the beginning of the March, I just maybe changed it many times. Then maybe in the center, sorry, the middle of the March, or maybe the end of the March. It means here we don't know exactly when it's happened, but I know for many times I have changed it. And then because here I have since, then I know definitely is the present perfect. Now that is, if you look here, let's say I is the subject, have changed it, this means have plus past participle, then the log is gonna be the object. Okay, let's continue. We have this, the other subject, we have past perfect. We know now is here, we know future, we know past. But past perfect is a little different. 2 actions, if you look here, 2 actions happen. 1 action we know definitely happened in the past. It means before now. The second action we don't know when it's happened, but we know definitely it's happened before this action. It means maybe it could be close, maybe like far, but we don't know exactly when this action happened. As we said it, we know this one happened in the past, but this action happened before this. The other reason we say 2 actions happen. 1 of them we know happened in a specific time before now or in the past, but the other action we don't know when it's happened, but we know definitely this action happened before this action. Okay, let's look how we structure this sentence. Past perfect. The past perfect refers to an action which was completed before another action taking place in a time in the past. Okay, now we know 2 actions we have it. One of them is both of them happen in the past, but one of them we know definitely. Let's look here. of the two actions taking place, one action happened before another one. It means one action happened before the other one. The recent action took place in the past while the earlier action had already taken place before the past. Okay? We said it doesn't matter which action was positioned first in the sentences. Okay? That's the reason we say here in the sentences it doesn't matter which one you start first. How we structure it. Sorry. Okay, but how we structure it. The good thing with the past perfect, all subject or pronoun like I, he, she, it, they, we, you would take same had. Then had it go with all of them. Then plus past participle. Then we have the object. Then we have a clause. Usually we have some phrases it tell us when it's happened. Okay, here we have before I registered in the college. It means I had studied English before I registered in the college. It means before I registered I knew some English. Okay, that they say I had studied. Okay, but I don't know when it's happened the study, but I know before I registered. Okay, let's see when we use past perfect. An action taking place before another action in the past or before a specific time in the past. Let's look to this one. Sarah had never skated on the ice before she moved to Vancouver. It means this is, we know this is moved. You see here? You could say before she moved to Vancouver last year. I mean, we know definitely this has happened in the past. Okay, before she moved to Vancouver, she had never skated. This is one action. This is second action. Okay, this is one. This is second action. But this has happened first. It means we know she moved to Vancouver, but before she moved, she had never skated. It means this is gonna be, let's say, if she moved to Vancouver in 2019, it means she, before 2019, she never had skated. It means this is gonna be old. This is maybe a little, maybe like before now. Or we could say this is old, this is older. That's easy way to explain it. Okay, this is old, this is older. Okay, let's go to the second sentence. Sam was not able to pay his tuition fees because he had lost his scholarship. It means he lost his scholarship. That's the reason he was not able to pay it. Okay, let's say Sam went to the office to pay his tuition fee yesterday. Yesterday is gonna be here was. Yesterday Sam was not able to pay his tuition fees. Because, why he was not able? Because he had lost his scholarship. If he was yesterday at the office, it means definitely he had lost his scholarship before yesterday. Could be 1 week, 2 weeks, we don't know. Okay, let's go to the second one. A duration of an activity before something in the past. Okay, we say Sardar had taught English for 5 years. Okay, before he changed his career. Okay, let's say in 2018 Sardar changed his career, But before 2018, he was teaching English, or he had taught English for 5 years. Okay, it means this is old. As we said, it changed his career, but this is older. It means this is a couple years before. Let's go to the second one. They had the blue Mercedes for 10 years before it broke down yesterday. We know this has happened in the past, but this is older. The other reason we put here, they had the blue Mercedes, then this is old, this is older. Either before or after is used in the sentences. We have here, we say before or after. Sarah had left the office before her fiance got there to pick her up. We have here, she had left the office. If we look here, let's say Sarah has an appointment with her fiance. Maybe told him to come to pick her up at 6 o'clock in the evening. Okay, this is her fiance, got to pick her up at 6 o'clock. But what time she left the office? She left the office before 6 o'clock. It means definitely, for example, when her fiance was there at 6 p.m., okay, it means she left the office before, maybe it was 5:30, or maybe any time before to be 6 o'clock. Okay, let's go to the other sentences. After the guests had left, Sardar started to clean the dishes. It means here he started to clean the dishes. It means when the guests already they left the house. Okay, it means after the guest left the house. Let's say, for example, this is the guest, they're gonna leave maybe at 10 o'clock. Sardar will start cleaning after 10 o'clock. This has to be older. This is old. This is past. This is past perfect. This is past. This is past perfect. This is past. If you look here, broke. This is past perfect. Same thing here. Changed, past. This is past perfect. Okay? Let's go to this one. An event completed in a short time earlier before now. The exam had just started when I arrived at the college. Okay? It means, let's say, for example, you had exam, let's say 8 o'clock in the morning. You arrived at school maybe 8:15 or maybe 8:05. Let's say you are at school. We said exam started, exam start 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. It means definitely here you arrived after 8 o'clock, maybe 8:05, maybe 8, let's say 8:05 or 8:06. The exam here is, that is we say exam had just started. It means they started before I step in. Let's say exam had just started when I arrived at the college. We said the exam was 8 o'clock, but you arrived at 8:06. That's the reason they start before you. The other one, we have this. The robber had just skipped from the back door when the police arrived. then we know the police arrived, then the robber already had left. It means before the police comes there, the robber left. Okay, the other we say when the police arrived, then here is in the past. Let's say, for example, if you call the police, let's say it was 7 p.m. 7 p.m. It means definitely, for sure, the robber has left, just escaped. It means the robber was, maybe he left there maybe 6:45. Okay, that's how we know. You see here the time, 6:45 p.m. the police come 8 o'clock. The exam start 8 o'clock, but you arrived at school at 8:06. Okay, this is gonna be 8:06. This is 8 o'clock. 7 o'clock, 6:45. Okay, let's say how we make present progressive, and then present perfect progressive. Let's say we have sentences. Present simple. Sarah is a nurse in Azadi Hospital. Sarah works as a nurse in Azadi Hospital. If we want to make this one continue or present progressive, then I have to put is, then ing form. Then we know it's happened in the present progressive, present continue. That is, we say Sarah is working as a nurse in Azadi Hospital right now. Then I know it's happened right now. Then make it present continue. Then I have is. Then I have to make this verb. If I make it like this is not accepted because it's gonna have two verbs. Then I have is, then I have work. Then I have to change this one to make it gerund. Now it's correct because now it's gonna have only one verb in the sentences. Okay, let's go how to make it present perfect. Then we say Sarah has worked. Then we use has worked because the subject is singular, is he, is she. Sarah has worked as a nurse in Azadi Hospital for 5 years. Then we have to make this one present perfect continue. Then we say present perfect continue. I have Sarah, here is also. Then I have to add has. Then with the has, if you look here, then I have has plus past participle. Then the other reason I say has been, as we said it here, is, we change it. We change from is to be. If you remember, that's what we did. Okay. Then when you make it present perfect, then I have to make this be here to make it been, to make it present perfect. And then when I have to make it present perfect continue, then I need to have a verb with ing form. That's the reason we put this one here. Okay, now I have Sarah has been working. Okay, now I know it's present perfect continue, or sometimes we say present perfect progressive. Okay, let's continue. Same thing, if we said it, we make it present. We say the police are ready to raid the criminal bankers. Okay, because the police is plural, then we use are. Then we have subject, then we have a verb. Okay, sometimes we say the police often raid the criminal bankers. Here we have two kind of present. Present with is or, then we have present with action verb. Let's how to make it progressive. Because here we have a police sim, then we add are to it, then the verb has to be with ing form. because here I have are, or the verb to be, or sometimes say be verb. The criminal 2 days at 3 a.m. How to make a present perfect? With the present perfect, the police, then I have to take have here. That's the sign of the present perfect. Then I put here. Then as I said it here, then I have to make it present perfect. Then this or I change it to be. I just add it here. And then with the be, then I have to make it past participle. The other is I make it been. Then I add to it to make it present perfect continue. Then I take this one ing form, just add it here. Thank you for listening. Please, if you like this clip, then recommend it to your friends to subscribe my channel, and then they're gonna have all the lesson. For the coming lesson will be Sunrise 12, lesson 4, unit 1. We will have comparative and superlative forms of adjectives and adverbs. Okay, thank you very much for listening.